Have you ever dug a hole before? In this video, I will show you all of the dirt me and my friend have dug over the last 5 years of digging out tower basements. Some of the individual basements are bigger than cars. So when I reveal to you how big the total numbers of dirt is, you may be very surprised. Before we start, go ahead and give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Let's do this. To help you understand this video, I will give you a little bit of a history lesson. My name is Sam. Me and my friend Gabe have been digging holes for as long as we can remember. Around 5 years ago, we started something called the tower. Ever since then, it has been evolving and expanding form in the little area that we can work with. What first started as a small wooden tower expanded into what we have today, which is a full underground man cave with all the essentials needed to become an off-grid shelter at any time. Our first ever basement was beneath what we call Tower Version 4, the fourth variation of the tower. Was started as a small 6x6 basement that only went 4 feet deep, quickly had a size expansion when we dug out a 4 foot deep 4x8 that was 6 feet tall. You could stand on the inside. This served the purpose of expanding the tower into a size that was more comfortable. While the basement did stick out of the ground 2 feet, we did not find this to be an issue. In order to keep track of all the tower basements, I've created this data table to show the volume of each basement we have dug. When we are done with this, I will make a total at the bottom so you can see how much we have dug in total. So as you can probably tell by now, me and Gabe were not satisfied by having a 6x6 and a 4x8. We needed more. So this is where the idea of expanding it out to an 8x8 came into play. So we dug out another 4x8 section and expanded the basement even more into an 8x8. However, the digging job was really hard to do to roots, and it was really more of a 7x7 basement. So in order to come up from our shortcomings, we decided to dig out the 6x6 basement just a little bit more down to 6 feet deep to make an even deeper basement. While doing this, we also dug the by 8 2 feet deeper as well to make it 6 feet deep. As the last little expansion we did with this place, we dug something called the kitchen area, which was a 4x6 that was to match the same depth of 6 feet, which was the same as the other areas. Unfortunately, this basement got destroyed due to structural reasons, and while it was technically rebuilt, it no longer exists today and is now just a landfill with tons of wood and scrap salt inside of it. So to fully explain how the first basement area got filled in, you need to understand that the area we have to work in was not fully used. In fact, we only used a small portion of the land for this first basement. For the second basement, we shifted over to a new area, which was just a short distance away. Here we could start fresh, and fresh start we did. The first basement to be dug was a new 10x8 that was 4 feet deep. While it was technically an 11x11 hole and a portion of it was not as deep as the other part, I will not count that as technically it was level with the ground and not in the ground at all due to the dirt we added in the area earlier when digging out our first basement area. To add to this, the reason there's a little asterisk here is because it's not a full 10x8, only a portion of it is. Do not fret though, I calculated all the correct numbers in the data table, so it is still all 100% correct in terms of how much we dug. Moving from this basement, we built what we would call the deep basement. This entire basement was a record-breaking 10 feet deep, which is still the deepest basement we have ever dug before in our entire tower history. This basement had so much dirt, it filled in the original first basement area, and that is why we no longer have that area as a basement area today. While the deep basement does add a considerable amount of dirt dug, we were not done. The last thing I have to go over is the cellar, which is a 6x8 that is 6 feet deep. However, again, a portion of it is raised, so only half of it is 2 feet deep, while the rest is 4 feet deeper. The cellar is still around to this day. However, we no longer use it as we currently just use the current man cave built on top of the ruins of the deep basement and the first man caves. Alright, so as you can see, this is the data table that I created. So We have multiple projects. These are all our projects. Here's the project sizes, the cubic feet of each project, and the dirt weight. So as you can see, some of these projects, I mean, the 8x man cave, that's 28,000 pounds right there. We got 6x12, that's 31,000 pounds, the heaviest one by far. So when you add all this together, you get 117,000 pounds of dirt across all of these projects. That is insane. That is 1,584 cubic feet of dirt. And if you saw the thumbnail of this video, that is essentially what it would look like if all of this was just in one big pile. So at the bottom I put in some fun facts about the dirt. So the total shovel scoops on average is about 0.2 cubic feet. That's around nearly 8,000 shovel scoops, which is insane. Total 5-gallon buckets, that'd be around 2,000 of them. Excavator scoops, for a medium-sized excavator, nearly 200. For the silo comparison, it's honestly nothing. For the biggest mine in the world, it's nothing. And for a tunnel that is a 4 feet by 6 feet, you could go out 66 feet, which is pretty good. And I'll show you what that looks like in comparison to some of the things, just so you can get an idea of what it is like. Alright, so I'm going to attempt to show you how big like a shovel scoop and like a 5-gallon bucket full of dirt is. So I'm just going to show you. So this is how big a shovel is, and a single shovel scoop is roughly this big. And there's a lot of shovel scoops that go into just a single bucket load. Like right now, there's already 2 in here. So I'm going to fill this bucket up so you can see how many shovel scoops it actually takes. So uncompacted, that took about 12 shovel scoops to fill up this entire 5-gallon bucket. I mean, just thousands? It's just insane. And remember, this whole area used to be an entire basement. Now it's completely filled in. And we're starting to level this area out a little bit. But yeah, completely insane. I mean, you can see how much we changed the landscape. These hills never used to be here. We added all of this, all while filling in an entire basement. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and as always, see you in the next one. Alright, if you've made it to this part of the video, you will now know that I made a mistake in my math. So actually, when I was calculating the man cave, I unfortunately was using wrong numbers, because until I actually looked at the photographs, I didn't actually know the correct sizes. But once I did, I figured out the correct sizes. So I'm going to put the actual total and the real numbers so you can see it for yourself.